took something. SPAZ2. Okay, so we have to investigate the signal. Okay, so another halfway. We're gonna set our speed to slow and just cruise ride to the other side of the game. We'll probably do some fights. We gotta see, I wanna see what's going on around me. There is someone attacking the space station. I don't think I want to get involved in that. There's stuff going on over there. We're crewed to a full capacity mainly. There's some scavenging going on. Weapons? What's this?
It should be noted that all wings, noses, and engine modules have onboard weapon systems. Lasers tend to nullify shields. Projectiles excel at displacing armor, while explosives can shred a ship's hull apart. Now, of course, these are not rules written in carbonite. The void is full of exotic weaponry for us to play with. It would be wise to familiarize yourself with these weapons, as...
Okay, what's the other one, mainly? Let's take a stop right here. What's this?
Somehow, for some void-forsaken reason, the galaxy isn't quite violent enough for some people. That's why we have simulation arenas.
Yeah.
They kind of work like a mind-rotting video game, giving homicidal psychopaths a safe environment to practice. It might not be such a bad idea if we gave it a go. I know it hurts, but we just might learn something.
Okay, what do you got for us? Nothing I really need. There's actually a fight going on. This is orange territory. Let's go help out.
Howdy.
We made some people.
Take care of my mom calling. See you later.
Disengaging. Relay point designated.
Wait, how do I switch? There we go.
Engaging.
Attack him! Oh, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
Behold, the power of science. It is only a matter of time before I can computerize the entire crew, invalidating the need for pointless chatter such as...
Cargo acquired.
Level 10 is required for that piece.
Game saved.
Oh, thanks. Now I have cocaine, so that's amazing. Is there any pieces that we don't need? vision. Mind if I don't walk fast?
Resource acquired.
Okay, so we're nowhere near the signal, and we're approaching some unidentified space. A fight! Let's see what's going on. Wait, are we in Greece? Yeah, we are. I don't think I want.
How can I be of you? Have my gratitude.
I shall help you. Take care of Green. And it looks like Green's gonna make a run for it. Oh wait, that's a supply ship. Alright, let's go get that supply ship.
Obliterating. Game
You guys
saved.
can have what is it? Scavenge. What is going on?
Have my gratitude.
Red, I'm gonna join you because I'm a cool guy. Let's see. One of these is a food area. Yep, that's it.
Engaging.
Oh, looks powerful. Looks like I'm being targeted.
Shields offline.
I might die. It's my parts. This is good. This is okay, I shall be right back. Actually, that's not bad. That's like, okay, I'm going to edit, apparently. Let's see what lore this is.
While Don Gibson was born on Earth, he spent the majority of his youth as a slave laborer on the moons of Uranus. Later in life, he was picked up by the UTA and conscripted as a soldier during the early lockdown wars. Following years of UTA service, Don eventually lost the willingness to obey orders. He resigned from the UTA to take up freelance mining work. As the UTA continued to inhibit free mining of res, he turned to smuggling contraband to survive. Obsession with the entity drove him to build the Clockwork ship, in hopes of being reunited with the entity. Don ceaselessly worked on the ship for nearly 200 years, untouched by the effects of age. He owed his perpetual youth to the dark corruption that had poisoned his body and mind. He embraced a life of solitude to conceal his affliction from others, until he undeniably needed help to complete the Clockwork. With the promise of untold wealth at the legendary galactic core, Don built a crew of struggling and hopeful prospectors. Elsa, Carl, and every other res-struck crew member remained blissfully unaware of his real agenda. It wasn't until the clockwork finally reached the core worlds did his true nature manifest itself to the crew. Don was eventually killed by Elsa Young, along with the dark entity that corrupted him.
Oh, well. Yeah, I remember him. It was in the first game. I should,
Signal detected.
careful of the fights I'm getting into. There's not much in this region besides a crew thing and what's in here? Oh, another signal. Some res, which is about 50%. And some scrap nodes. And iron stem.
Jameson is the prime dictionary definition example of everything wrong with humanity. He may even be the worst living thing to congeal into a physical body. His intelligence rivals that of a tapeworm. It is a scientific miracle he even has the brain capacity to stand erect, let alone form a complete or even partial sentence. His hygiene is questionable. His mother has ugly shoes. Jameson is a poo-poo face jerk. Alert. 137% chance of file tampering detected.
What? Who did that? Oh my god. Who tampered with Jameson's file? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Scanning area.
It appears... Oh, let us go defend the red
I'm back to help you.
ship from the anti-pirates. Alright, pirate ship, you're gonna get it.
Engaging. saved.
Even towards, I'll take that. I'll take the strategy instead.
Area exhausted.
Let's see. The core left wing. Let's see. We'll buy that. Right wing. I really want missiles. My right is the support, so buy missiles, engines. Nothing I really want. Let's do some maintenance, shall we? And what do I want to get rid of? That's a missile. It's a laser. It's actually not bad. There's a missile, an ironized pistol. That. That's perfect.
Map updated.
Ooh, there's some lore over there. You know what? I love reading these lores, but I'll use some extra res to get them there quickly. Alright, let's see what we got.
Under heavy gamma ray bombardment, the natural phasing process of res is slowed, allowing it to be refined and stabilized. Refined res has countless applications. It can be easily transmuted into other forms of matter, making it the dough-like material of the universe. It can also be rendered into an energy-producing state, often used for warp fuel. Res also happens to make a nice tea, despite its nightmarish origins. Astonishingly, the substance has been in a rapid state of change after its initial discovery. The oscillating multi-phase frequency of res has more than tripled in the last decade, allowing it to remain in its corporeal state for longer periods. While being nearly impossible to detect in early history, it can now be seen with the naked eye in many cases.
Ah, that's interesting. Alright, I'll take that little equipment and I'll slow down the engines.
Signal detected.
There's a blue ship engaging a pirate. I will help the blue because it is good to have friends from time to time. Let us go and kick some slow down the engine. The blue and the greens are now
saved.
Oh, they don't even board? Okay, so blue and the greens are now at war with each other. They don't even border each other. They... Oh my god, they... What is going on? Okay, so they don't even border each other, and they're at war with each other. Like, why would you... I know... Like, if you hate each other, why would you... Oh my god.
Resource acquired.
Oh my god, the AI. Who's ever in charge of these sections. Really.
Scanning area.
Oh my god. Okay, so we have a signal. It's almost a full res, and there's more from here. First of all, we'll get the res. There's like 200 res in here. Harvest the res.
Area exhausted.
Now we'll investigate.
By the endless void in a chicken basket! Look how the infection has replicated itself on inanimate material like that. I am going to disable the ship's weapon system so you, trigger-tickling simpletons, do not obliterate this precious sample opportunity for me.
Carl, I'm going to rip your tin head clean off. Turn the weapons back on this instant, or so help me, I will kill you twice over.
What kind of buffoon do you take me for? These samples are totally dormant, even with all this nearby transport traffic. As much as I despise concurring with Admiral Patches, he does have a point. The Dark Puppeteer has been long since destroyed. There is less than absolute zero risk to the ship. Now please, lay in a course next to the infected asteroid so I can perform a battery of scans.
Oh my god. Weapons offline, okay. So we just have to be very careful.
Fuck me right in the aft. I am so sick and tired of being chronically correct. Carl! Weapons! Now!
This makes anti-sense. It is reacting to our presence somehow, despite being absent of any neurological activity. A dozen ships have passed through this region. How do we differ? There must be some sort of catalyst for this reaction.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Weapon access code accepted.
Not even an idiot would put that password on his luggage. Thankfully, Carl, you are a rare breed of idiot. Elsa, we are weapons free. Transferring power, acquiring targets now.
I want everything within a parsec of here to be rendered to dust. Destroy anything that moves. Use the ship itself if you have to.
Alright, fighters, cover me.
Carl, do you even have the slightest clue of the privilege I have bestowed upon you, allowing you to exist aboard my ship, under my order? If only I didn't need someone that knew anything about the infection. Oh, what is the point? I guess this is all my fault for letting you off the leash. You know, I really was starting to think we were finally past all this apocalyptic insanity. Why now, after years of no contamination? Why here? Why ever so perfectly orchestrated for our arrival? This just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, maybe not the best place to have a conversation. Let's be sure we only make one mistake here today. Helm, take us out of here!
Okay.
Judging by the expression on your faces, it would appear I'm about to be the recipient of some violence. It should be noted, however, that this may all be an emotional overreaction to a threat now nullified by the ship's ordnance. That may very well have been the last we see of the infection. It is expected we would find some lingering residue eventually.
Residue? So what now? Just forget it all happened? Sure, I was wrong, thinking the infection was over with, but now we know otherwise. That fault is on me, my bad, but are we supposed to forget that you castrated the ship to satisfy your own interest? Carl, you have an admiration for this filth, and I'd say the thing feels the same way about you. Why else did it react the way it did? For all we know, you've been corrupted already. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are a liability, and you are gonna get us all killed!
That's enough. Ambient babysitting is one thing, but I won't have you all disemboweling each other at a time like this. Get along. That's an order. Carl, you have your samples. I want to know what we're dealing with. Find me some answers. Jameson, I need you to start prepping the mothership for war.
If it took us this long to find an infection candidate, how long do you think it'll take us to find the next one? We just don't have the manpower to scrub the galaxy clean of infection. Elsa, if we really want to make some progress, we need some allies we can delegate to.
Great. I know where this is going. I was hoping we could steer clear of this childish faction feud. One UTA was bad enough. Now we have half a dozen sides to this bloody war, not including our sticky problem.
I'm not one to get involved in politics either, but our backs are up against the hull. We're gonna have to pick a side and play nice for the time being. Weeb hacking for leads is no way to fight a war.
It's to join a faction. Okay. So let's go see what this war is about. How long have I
Game saved.
20 minutes, it's fine. Let's see what resolves.
After the discovery of an ancient alien warp gate, it was theorized that the Dark Entity had previously cleansed the galaxy of all life, reseeding it afterward for later consumption. This process may also have been a reoccurring cycle to which the creation of all life originated. While the builders of the ancient gate were long extinct, humanity was successful in refurbishing it. It led to a twisted dimension where the Dark Entity's physical body resided. With the location of its corporal form now accessible, it succumbed to a flurry of bullets and bombs not unlike the life forms humanity was previously familiar with.
Okay. Dev's doing a good job. Right, now we have to join a faction. Any faction. Let's see. Might want to stay over. Let's put up the ancient by one so we can get
Awareness
like,
expanded.
Small res pocket.
Map updated.
What are you battling?
Can I touch your hair?
No, you may not. You are battling a bandit. That reminds me, I should check Strikecraft. We can. At least another more. What is it? Another book? Yeah, let's
One Once Earth's neon green oceans burned brighter than the visible sun, humanity collectively decided it was time to find a new home. Pushing the very limits of science, mankind molested the fabric of space-time to create artificial wormholes. These wormholes allowed the transportation of matter across huge distances, though required a reliable exit connection. An automated starship was sent to the nearest neighboring star, Alpha Centauri, to construct one such connection. Following the 250-year journey, the first warp gate was established, and humanity quickly fled the rotting Earth to the new off-world colony.
Neat. That is actually our star. Learn some new characters. There's some booms. I don't need any booms. I don't think I want to join
Scanning area.
Join red. Blue looks like the best option though. Okay, so let's go to factions. Let's go to the rooms. I don't really care about the feuds. Who's the faction?
I can't deal with this right now. I'm gonna have a panic attack.
I want to make the faction leader like me. If they like me, I can join their faction. So here's what I'll do. I shall go to the faction leader.
Your very presence has soured my mood.
Yes. I shall give you some stuff. I was going to give the faction leader some.
I can't deal with this right now. I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Blues don't like me.
Your stupid face is stupid.
Oh my god, he's trying to mock me. Alright, we'll give her stuff.
Huh? Yep.
Apparently they like that.
Game saved.
It's not the time for this.
Offer trade, offer tribute. I want to offer tribute in the form of res because I like res. And maybe some goods. And I'll offer her that. I'll offer her one of my engines I'm not going to use. Oh, she doesn't. No, she doesn't care. Okay.
Thanks, you're the best. You really are, yeah.
I've offered you a crap ton of tribute. There's a fight which I really need to do now.
Thursday's coming soon! Did you bring your coats?
He is still friendly. Are there any other fights which are about to go down?
Please! I think I changed my mind! This one's filthy!
Alright, let's go kick this pirate's booty.
Engaging.
Lasers.
Carl is out sick today. This unit will now distribute the quota of condescending and hurtful remarks. Your mother's mass is greater or equal to the average mass.
I now have more StarCraft. I'm going to do an upgrade. Level 1, level 2. Oh, these ones are level 2. Okay, I'll just pump more points in.
Game saved.
Now, we're gonna join Blue. There's the faction leader. Sort of almost likes us, but doesn't.
Signal
where is it? This said signal. I don't wanna scavenge stuff. The green and reds are now at war.
I'm gonna beat you. Now go ahead, run. It only makes it more fun to chase you.
I'm going to attack the bandit who is scavenging a blue. That made them love it. This guy seems to be a bit of a high level. Take it all. And there's quite a bit in here, but that doesn't belong to us. I want a billion.
Game saved.
I don't want to take any of stuff. I'm gonna sell some of this weaker stuff. I can give maybe some res. Res is actually quite expensive. There's a pirate fleet.
This here bandit hives work like bees. They send out them worker ships, raiding for supplies. The nectar returns to make the hive mighty. If we go risk getting stung, we can nab some of that honey pot.
It's on the move currently.
Awareness expanded.
Okay, how long do I have left? About 6 minutes. Fight it out. I'm not gonna make it. I will take you. Come here. Work it out.
Kind of a loser.
Oh, what? You hate me? Well, I'm just gonna... do I want to mug you, or do I want to... you know what? I'm gonna fight you.
Sure, I believe in violence.
Oh, are you joining Blue? Oh, some kind of blue person came down.
Nope, this isn't happening.
Oh, thank you, Blue.
Target
Try to go keep us... Thanks, Blue. You're the best. Looks like it's gonna help. And this rightfully belongs to Blue. I'm not gonna attack him. Ooh, another roar piece. I shall take.
Some now believe that without the dark entity, life will run rampant across the cosmos like locusts, or that the universe will fling itself apart. A few believe the dark entity is eternally present and cannot simply be extinguished. Evidence suggests that the dark entity is much older than the galaxy itself. If such a creature can survive the chaos of the Big Bang, it is reasonable to assume that a fledgling race like humankind would not be able to harm it. Its destruction may have been an integral part of its reoccurring cycle, or another chapter of the entity's self-evolution. Game saved.
Oh, that game saved. So Blue's at war, so I'm gonna go help out Blue on their front. Let me go help out Blue.
Yeah, man, come on in. Let me
Alright,
get you
let's
coffee.
see if we can get this fight. Who is this? This is, the Doctor. What's the other fight? The other fight's between our mother and
You gonna eat that?
Join other. I'm going to join the other. I this might be more than I
Don't
can bark.
understand. Maybe if you spoke backwards.
Babysitting duty.
Alright, you guys go protect the ship. I'm gonna recruit as soon as I'm gonna deal with these fighters. Strike craft.
Target locked. Obliterating.
Let's chase him away. We might not get him, but I think he has to drop some supplies.
Target locked. Obliterating.
Another ship down.
Engaging.
He's gonna take some. Don't you dare run on me. Got him. Yeah. What is this? Wow, that was a big fight. I shall take on.
I decided to let a chimp from the lab select the last few data allocations instead of you. We have reached the scientific limit of banana peeling and fecal bombardment technology. We
That belongs to me. Well, I'm going to do something.
Pillaging successful.
Like how the guy says,
Game
those are
saved.
some pretty high tiers there. Okay, let's do some expanding very quickly. I want to expand it this way. I should. That's a flak. What's this one? This one's. I think it was this one. Alright, there we go. We are, and it is stronger. Let's see, Blue needs some help over here. Let's do this fight with I'm making it lovely. Infection, okay. Well, I'm gonna let Blue do their thing. I'm gonna do
Engaging.
infection.
Only I can hear you scream.
No, you're dead. Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
You are welcome, by the way. No need to thank me. Now let's head out. There's a few bits of scrap there. Now, where is the factory leader? Let us go visit them and call it a report.
Hey, what chicken?
Move 2. I'm going to, hey, factory
Game
leader.
saved.
I have gifts. Alright, last fight, then we'll head to the faction leader. This episode has gone on long enough.
Engaging.
Oh my, that's it. World is abandoned. Stop shooting. Is that it? Yeah, there's more infected. Let's deal with the enemies. Bramble! He is fleeing us. That is somewhat unacceptable. Use the ship. Come on, flee this area. And neither I. Looks like we're escaping. He's not escaping. Oh, no. Oh, what is that? I should take very quickly. A little bit further, but it's fine. Get this back there. This is might do a swap out of parts. Yeah, now where's the faction leader? I should probably call him.
Yeah, man, come on in. Let me get your gun.
And of course she's fighting.
Hey, what chicken?
I will
You're the best.
I shall
Sorry,
train you
go ahead.
in your mugging. You know I'm
There's no way I'm sticking around for this.
Engaging.
yeah, you're not getting what gate is actually you'll have to ram us.
Never silence me.
And then you're done. I shall take on. Now, faction leader, I need to speak to you.
Hey, what chicken?
I wish to join the faction. Yay!
Alright, listen up, everyone. It looks like faction acceptance wasn't even enough to validate our parking. We're just another blip on the radar. We're gonna need to make a serious investment before we can expect any handouts to come our way. Oh, and Carl, do you think you can not try so bloody hard to get us infected? The rest of us have real work to do.
At what parsec did you appoint yourself commander of this ship? Are you trying to kindle some sense of purpose by assaulting my integrity? Perhaps you should resume tossing your feces about the room, rather than tossing blind accusations.
Carl, relax already. It's his job to be suspicious. Maybe don't make yourself such an easy target by perpetually pissing everyone off.
Would it make you feel better if I picked on Mackenzie for a while? I mean, think about this for a second. What does he do all day in the depths of engineering? Why did it take so bloody long to get the ship up and running? Maybe he's been playing us this entire time, pretending to be a nugget.
I had not even considered that possibility. There is sufficient evidence to conclude Mackenzie was the dark entity all along. He must be obliterated.
Crewman Mackenzie located in Engineering, Section B2. Flooding area with thermobaric gas. Thermobaric detonation in 3, 2, 1. Thermobaric child lock detected. Would you like to make this your default browser?
What is this atrocity? How can I be locked out of my own technology?
Carl, you really are sick. The security lockout is for your own good. And for the good of everyone else on board. Nobody will even lift a toilet seat without my authorization. Look, Carl, we need your expertise, but I've met binary pulsars more stable than you.
Let's return to the subject, shall we? The fact is, we need to be running a starbase. From there, we can trade for the ships and weapons we need to cast a wide net. It doesn't have to win any pageants, but we need some base of operations if we want to proceed with cleansing the infection.
Okay. Well,
Game saved.
oh, thank you. Well, I gotta get going. It's over the episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I love everything, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.